Hi guys, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I'm going to teach you the objects. So first of all, what is the objects? Objects are just the container for the properties and the methods. And first of all, what is the properties? I will tell you about it, but first of all, I need to explain the object. What is the object? Those students who are new. So object is anything object. Anything is an object. You are an object. I'm an object. Your laptop is an object. This screen is an object. This my pen is an object. My mouse is an object. This keyboard is an object. My mobile is an object. All the things in this universe is an object. Object is just anything that exists. That is a matter. So uh, object is just like an instinct. And now I- I'm going to tell you about the objects that are in the real world. Like my laptop is an object, and it have many properties. Its color is silver, its buttons are black. So this is the properties of an object. I am an object, and what are my properties? My properties are that my color is white, and I am 5 feet 10 inches tall, and my properties, my weight is 70 kg, and these are my properties. In this way, you have your own properties. You are an object. So like this, we are able to create the objects in the programming field. You can create the objects in all the programming languages almost that I have learned. The programming languages, I have seen the objects in all the programming languages. So now uh, those examples are just to clear your concept. Now return to the programming. In the programming, when we create an object, so we can store more than one more. You can store the data in the object. So what are the data are in the form of the variables. So in the object, you can store more than one variables. You can store as many variables as you can. So that are the properties, because they have the data. So data is the property of an object. So in this way, we will create the objects that have their properties. And the next thing that is in the object is the method. What is the method? Method is just like function. Method is the function. Like we have learned the function in the previous lecture, we can create the functions in the objects. Like we have our own methods. Like I can walk, I can talk, I can fill something. So that are my methods. So now we are going to create the method of an object. Like there is a method to edit the value, there is a method to change the value, to give the value, to insert the data, to retrieve the data. So that are the methods of an object. So I'm just clearing your concept by telling you about the real world examples. So now if you don't understand, so now I'm gonna create the object, then you can understand it clearly. To create an object, you have to write var. Var is the keyword, and then here is a variable. Here I have created a variable. In this variable we will save our object. This variable have the reference of the object, so we will not call it variable, we will call it object. And here is equal, and then you have to write parentheses, and at the end of the parentheses you have to write semicolon to end the instruction. And in between these parentheses you have to write your two things. First thing is the property, and the second thing is the methods. Object have the properties and the methods, data and the functions. So here is first of all what property I'm going to declare. I'm going to declare name. You don't need to write var or anything with their names. I'm gonna declare the name, because there is an object whose name is person, so every person have the name. So that's why I have write the property name. You can write any property, you can write any uh, property, any variable, so but you don't need to write var keyword with it. And then here is the semicolon, and if you want to write the number values, so directly write it, but if you want to write the string, so you have to write it in between. If you want to write the text, so in between the double or single quote. So here is my name is Fahd, and then I want to write my next property, I want to put more data, so here is the comma, and here is I'm going to write my age. So here is age is in the number, so my age is 20, so here is the 20. So now in this object, person object, have two properties, name and the age, and now by using this name and the age we can get its value. So in this way you can specify as many properties as you can, and if you want to write the next property, then write the comma, otherwise don't write comma. But here I just end on this, or here I'm gonna write city, here is Sialkot. So here you see that this is my city, age and the name, so all things are written. So in this way you can see that you can give the properties to an object. This is the properties of an object, and it is also the data of an object. So now I hope you understand the object. So now here I will teach you the methods later, but here I'm going to teach you some other things related to these properties. So now how to change the values of these properties, how to assess these properties, how to print their values. Here I'm gonna print their value. So now here I'm gonna access the value of the properties. So how to access it? First of all, write the object name. Whenever you want to access the properties of an object, you have to write the object name, then dot, and then the property name, like this. Here is the name. So now this statement will return the value of the name, and here is, you can alert it or you can save it in another variable. Here is alert, the return property name, and here is refresh it, so here is Fahad is returned. In this way you can also save it in a variable, like here is, I'm going to save it, here is, I'm gonna save it in a variable like this. Here is x, and here is equal, here is. So now in this way you can also alert it. Here you have to just write the name of the object, name of the variable that have the value of the property. Here is name Fahd, and in this way you can also get other properties, like here now I'm gonna get, here is the age, here is, I'm gonna in the comment, here is this, here is person dot age, and this statement will return the age, and here is 20. So it is okay, and it is fine, and it is returning the age. So now what's the next thing? The next thing that I'm going to teach you, you can also assess it in another way, like this. You don't need to write the dot, you just need to write the square brackets around the property, and you have to write the property in between the double or single quotes, like this, and it will also return the property value, that is age 20. And so now in this way you can do these things, and if you have any problems, so you can add the discussion, I will answer your discussion. And if you want to add some new properties, so how you can add it, you just need to write here the comma, and you can write the next property like this. Here if we want to add country, so you can just write like the other we have write, But here is another method to add the property name, to add the new property. How we can add it? You just need to write the object name. So now this is an object, person is an object, and we want to add the property in this person object. So that's why we have to write this person object name. And here you see that we also need to write the object name when we want to retrieve the value of the property. So why we have to write this? Because this property is in the person object, so that's why we have to write its object name. So here is, I'm gonna add another property, country. So here is the country, and you have to write your property name that you want to create like this, and then equal, and then write its value. Here I'm gonna write, here is I'm gonna write Pakistan. So here you can see that at the end of the statement there is a semicolon. So now here you can see that when we create the property in between the objects, so you have to write the colon and in a different way. But here you can see that you just need to write the object name, then property name that you want to create, and then its value, and here you have to write equal. So this is another method to add the property in an object, and you can access it. Here I'm going to access it. Here is this, and I'm gonna make it in the comment, and here is, I'm gonna access the country property, and it will print on the screen. Here is, you see that Pakistan. So now in this way you can add the new properties, and now here we can also create a property with another method that is like this. Here is, we just need to place the square brackets around the property, and here what you need to do, you have to place double quotes or single quotes, and in this way you can also create the property. This is another method. In this way you can also get the value of the property, and here I'm gonna refresh it. Here is Pakistan, and now this is the way to create a property. In this way you can create a property. But how to change a property? Here I'm gonna change the value. How to change the, no, it's not how to change the property, it's how to change the value of the property. Here you can see that country have the value. Here here you see that country have the value Pakistan, but now I'm gonna change it. So how we can change it? There the same method is used to change the property value like this. Here if we want to change the age, so you need to write equal, then 45. So now age have the value 45. The difference is just that when we create, or when we change the value of when we create the property inside the object, so you have to write colon and then comma, but here outside the object you just need to write the equal and then semicolon at the end. So this is just a little different format. So here is the 20 age, here is the 45, and now here I'm gonna print the age, and then you can understand it. Here is this is the age, and here I'm gonna comment it. So now age is printed 45 because I have changed it. So you can also place the square brackets around the age and then put it in the commas, so that methods also work. And now another method that I'm going to tell you, how to delete an property. Here is, first of all, I'm gonna do some adjustments. Here is, place it here. This is just related to the country, and this is the age. Here is this. I'm just telling in this way these things work, and because I have to provide this file to you, so that's why I have adjusted. And now delete the property. So now I'm gonna delete the age property. So how we can delete it? We just need to write the delete keyword. It is just used to delete the properties of the object, and then you have to write the object name then dot, then property name. So now this property will be deleted from the object. So if we try to access it here, I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna print the age. So now it will print undefined. Here you can see that undefined because this property is not exist. This keyword delete this property, and in this way you can delete the properties. And now in the next lecture I will teach you about the methods of the object. Here you can see that I have teach you a lot of stuff in this lecture, but in the next lecture I will teach you the methods of the object. So thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video. If you have any problem, so kindly add the discussion. I will help you as much as I can.